What is a Scream movie without meta commentary? Well, let's talk a little bit about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I want to be a fighter, like you.
Oh, let it burn! Let it burn!
Did you miss me?
You have to shoot them in the head. They always come back.
The boat can leave now. Tell the crew.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Good luck.
Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Sometimes scrolling on the internet can be just as terrifying as a good horror film, but with NordVPN, they make it worry-free. NordVPN is one of the most trusted internet security providers on the market. It offers a lightning-fast VPN connection, next-gen encryption, and advanced features that boost your online security wherever you are on every device. Their privacy-focused values, customer-centric mindset, and cybersecurity expertise makes NordVPN one of the leading VPN providers globally. Today, millions of users choose NordVPN for comprehensive online protection. Check out NordVPN and NordPass that helps you remember your passwords by clicking on the links in the description below. Thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into the updates. So first things first, this is likely going to be one of the last Scream 7 updates we do on this page, and I just real quickly want to thank you guys so much for supporting my page for the last couple of years while we talk about this upcoming movie. It has been a roller coaster ride doing updates on this page. I have a little announcement at the end of this video that I want to share with you guys, so make sure to stay tuned until the end. We're changing things up going into March, and I really hope you guys stick around for it. Thank you so much for your continued support. Some smaller updates have come through, like some of the original soundtrack has dropped. Swayco dropped an original song for the film called Rearranging Scars. It's a pop punk anthem, and I imagine it'll introduce the character of Lucas, who is of course Pine Grove's resident sad boy. I bet he would hang out with the emo kids from South Park.
I'm not emo, okay?
Then why are you listening to Sunny Day Real Estate?
Now tomorrow, the new Ice Nine Kills song drops for the film called Twisting the Knife. It also features cast member McKenna Grace on the track. We've already gotten a little taste of it, and I can't really play it in this video because I'm pretty sure someone would just be like, fuck you! Scoop that monetization right out of this video. But if you can't find it online right now, you'll definitely hear it tomorrow. A new clip of Gale interviewing Sydney has leaked online, and it basically shows the character reverting back to her Scream 2 self.
You gonna play nice? Of course not. I've been waiting for this interview for 30 years.
Now, I have to admit, this is a really fun clip, especially after rewatching Screams 1 through 3 on the page recently. Make sure to check out those reaction videos if you haven't given them a shot yet.
Gale Weathers.
What a character introduction. 10 out of 10.
Gale Weathers.
This scene seems to call back to Gale from those flicks. It does feel like it's ignoring some of her character progression, especially in the last two. That kind of saw like a softer side to this character, especially after Dewey died. I think this is just Kevin Williamson restoring order in the Force. I think Gale is just a much more interesting character when she's this like biting journalist who is going to do anything for a good story. Maybe that works out in Scream 7's favor. Maybe it doesn't. We'll just have to see. So far though, I'm really vibing with this. This might be my favorite Gale moment from the last 3 films. Speaking of franchise creator Kevin Williamson, he recently told Empire that this movie doesn't really have that meta goal. It's continuing the legacy of Sidney Prescott. It's about her daughter. It's about family.
Family.
This quote has obviously raised a lot of questions in the Scream fandom. What the heck is a Scream movie without a meta goal? What are you talking about, Kevin? Now, interestingly enough, Radio Silence said this exact same thing before Scream 6 dropped back in 2023, and I think they just meant something different than what we're all thinking. Kevin Williamson likely means the same thing here. The story and dialogue was a little more grounded in the Radio Silence films. There may not have been any houses exploding that somehow filled to the brim with gas without anyone noticing, or characters talking like they were in the late season of a soap opera, but there was still film commentary embedded into those flicks. I think what Kevin Williamson means to say here is that Scream 7's focus is to tell a really good story revolving around the character of Sidney Prescott. Show us the next chapter of her life with her family, while losing some of that satirical dialogue and over-the-top moments that might have taken us out of it in previous installments. The goal with that, especially in Screams 1 through 3, I think, was to do like this satire of horror movies at the time. The slasher movies of the 80s and the 90s were really cheesy and over the top, and Scream kinda was making fun of that in a non-malicious way. That's just not as relatable here in the horror genre today, and the Scream franchise is just evolving alongside the genre. There is definitely going to be some sort of meta commentary in this flick. We have had a lot of these AI and deepfake rumors basically confirmed in a recent leaked trailer that showed us the deepfake face of a young Stu Macher pre-TV exploding all over him. I think it's still going to be meta, just not in every single phrase or every single moment. Personally, that's something I actually kinda liked about Screams 5 and 6. Going back to Screams 3 and 4 especially, I feel like those films might have gotten even too meta at times. Kevin has also mentioned in the past that they wanted to be less bloody with this flick. He follows that up to Empire by saying, "We kind of screwed up with that. I said, I think we need more blood," and Nev was like, "I think you're right." Now, there has been a lot of back and forth on what the hell Scream 7 is gonna look like in terms of brutality. About a year ago now, Mason Gooding said that Ghostface was gonna score one of his most brutal kills in the entire franchise, the most Viscara we've ever seen in one of these movies. That was followed up a couple months ago by Nev Campbell saying that they really didn't want to focus on making any bloody kills in a slasher movie. Now, I understand it's Scream, not Terrifier. I don't need to see people getting ripped apart for like 20 minutes straight in a bedroom scene like Terrifier 2, but it's still a slasher movie in 2026. If there's no blood and no guts, fans are gonna walk away disappointed no matter who you are. Did y'all see the new Strangers trilogy? Every time there was a kill, it cut away, and I know you felt some disappointment deep down in your gut. Come on now. I don't know what this back and forth has been all about, but based on the things that we have seen from the TV spots, teasers, and the trailer, it looks like this movie's gonna be brutal. That one kill with who I think is McKenna Grace roped up in the sky in like the theater or whatever, and she's getting sliced open by Ghostface, that's gonna rip. I guarantee you this is gonna be a bona fide slasher and not the next Pixar movie. Maybe my favorite part of today's update is that some character posters have leaked online. No idea when these are going to release publicly, but here's what we got so far. Sydney Prescott, Gail Weathers, and Hannah, McKenna Grace's character, are all standing next to a melting ghost face in their respective character posters. I cannot wait for all of these to be released. One of my favorite parts of covering both Screams 5 and 6 was breaking down all of the different character posters, talking about what makes each of these characters look a little more suspicious than the others. The one thing I will say is that the Scream 7 posters are very cool. They're sick as fuck, but I still think the Scream 6 ones are my favorite. I can't wait to see what the Scream 8 character posters look like. Speaking of that, Kevin and Nev are already teasing the possibility of more to come, especially considering how many tickets have already been sold for the upcoming flick. I am easily predicting a $50 million opening weekend for Scream 7, which is insane. That is blowing the last film out of the water. It is surprisingly not completely unreasonable to guess that Scream 7 could cross $200 million at the box office. A lot of people are talking about this movie. Y'all don't want to listen to me when I say this, but all press is good press, and a lot of people are talking about this movie, whether that be good or bad. The people who are begging others to boycott this flick are inadvertently advertising the movie. With all of that talk revolving around this film, I would not be shocked if this was the first Scream movie to cross the 200 million line. Probably the biggest update lately, however, is that we just got a featurette that focuses on Sydney's daughter Tatum. Named after the best friend whose life was taken by the strongest garage door on the West Coast, Tatum 2.0 wants to be a fighter just like her mother. She even sports her same leather jacket from part 2. Sydney doesn't really care for that much, and Tatum tosses it aside. I think this new footage is showcasing the struggle between Sydney and her daughter. Sydney wants to hide her away from all of the danger, where Tatum kind of wants some freedom. She's a rebellious teenager, she wants to be able to go out, hang out with her friends, but she doesn't really recognize the fact that Ghostface is a threat to her family. She's never really gone through all of this shit before. You know, not like her mother, who has technically been through this 5 different times. Writer-director Kevin Williamson even says in the featurette, there's no conversation that she can have about her past that doesn't end in death and doom. By keeping the past from her daughter, she's made her vulnerable to what could come knocking. I think this inexperience is what is going to lead to Tatum getting kidnapped in the film, something that again has been shown to us in some of the public marketing. Maybe if she had some of that horror movie logic built into her brain, she'd be able to avoid this situation, but Sydney is too afraid to talk about that. So it sounds like both of these characters have got to go through some arcs. As of right now, I'm certainly worried that we know pretty much everything about Scream 7, but that doesn't mean I'm not excited for it. I thought the same thing about Scream 6, and I was blown away within the first 5 minutes of that one. So hopefully come February 27th, Scream 7 can do the same thing. Hopefully it gets the job done. That's 9 days away, ladies and gentlemen. We are in single digits. Let's go! Now, before we wrap this up, I real quickly want to give a shout out to my reaction series that is ongoing right now. We are currently watching all 6 of the Scream movies leading up to 7's release release, ladies and gentlemen. The next video in that little series on Scream 4 drops tomorrow. I also want to talk about the schedule moving into Scream Week, literally starting next week. I am so unbelievably excited for this. We are going to have video after video of Scream stuff and also a ton of live streams that week. Let's go through the schedule. On Monday, we're talking about the fate of Stu Macher in Scream 7 for anyone who hasn't kept up with the updates over the last couple of years. Tuesday, the Scream 5 reaction will drop. Wednesday, I'll be doing a video on my final Scream 7 predictions for all of the characters. Thursday, the Scream 6 reaction will drop. Friday, my review of Scream 7 will be out on the page. Saturday will be a franchise ranking, including Scream 7. Sunday, we'll rank all of the ghost faces, including any possible new contenders from this upcoming film. And finally, on the next Monday, we'll talk about the possibilities of Scream 8 and where the franchise is off to next. On top of that, you're gonna see a ton of crazy streams on this page, including some final predictions from some of my friends coming this Friday. We're gonna do a Lethal Collective stream on Monday, also doing some final predictions. And then finally getting into the opening weekend of Scream 7, we're gonna be live literally all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We will be talking spoilers on these streams, however, just as a word of warning. I would hate to spoil this movie for anybody, so see it as soon as humanly possible so you can join in on the conversation. One more thing and I'll shut the hell up. I'm also taking a break after March 2nd, which is of course a Monday coming up very soon here. I'm gonna be taking it easy throughout the entire month of March pretty much as I plan my wedding, and also I'm working on this new reaction series and where it's going next. Now, as of right now, the reaction series is a ton of fun. I'm watching movies that I love, the Scream movies that I've seen millions of times before. But next up, starting sometime in March, we're going to be reacting to something that I've never seen before, and I'm dedicating my page to for basically the rest of the year. This is a huge risk, a huge swing for the fences, and I really hope it pays off. Stay tuned for more updates. Are you all excited for Scream 7? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.